Yeah, and what's Alice?
Goldilocks. Alice. Baby bear.
Baby bear for this baby. And is this baby in my tummy a boy baby or a girl baby? Ooh, the suspense! If you're here because you're excited to hear the gender of our little baby bear, then don't worry, I'm not going to leave you hanging. Just give me 1 minute and I'll introduce you to our channel, and then we'll be straight into playing the whole clip so you can hear the gender of our new baby. So welcome to my channel. My name's Marie and this channel is all about making things for children and for our families. I love to sew for my kids and I really want to motivate other mums to make and mend for their families too. Today's project, I'm going to be showing you how I made these 3 bear ears that I use as dress-up costumes for my kids, and also the accessories that go with the father bear, mother bear, and baby bear. If you missed my video last week, I also showed a tutorial of how I made the Goldilocks wig. So if you'd like to watch that next, I'll leave a link in the description box, and when this video is done, you can go and watch that one next. I'm really excited to watch my channel grow, and I have the goal, maybe it's a bit lofty, to get 500 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you're not subscribed yet, why not help me out and click that subscribe button down below. Alright, well I know you've waited long enough. Let's find out the gender of our baby bear. That's right. And is this baby in my tummy a boy baby or a girl baby?
Boy. Boy baby.
That's right. A boy baby. Hooray! It's a boy! Yes, it's a boy! We are so excited to be welcoming another boy into our family in February. Lane and I have always wanted 4 kids and for them to all be close in age, and we are so blessed that this February we'll be able to welcome our 4th and final child. And to top it all off, what a bonus that we've got 2 of each gender so that all of our children will experience what it's like to have a brother and to have a sister. This isn't something that you can obviously plan, but it is honestly such a blessing and we are so excited about it. If you're watching this just for the gender reveal because maybe you're pregnant too or you know someone else who is, then I encourage you to subscribe as well, follow along. I'll be sharing some other pregnancy and newborn related content coming up. If you're here and don't really care about the gender of the baby that I'm pregnant with, that's fine too. Let's get straight into the DIY of how I made this 3 bears costume. Let's get making!
My mum makes a 3 bear costume.
Here are my first 2 attempts of making the bear ears. I made this one here first, the daddy bear ears, and you can probably tell that they're a little bit more floppy, not quite as nice as the second one I made, which is the baby bear ears. I made a few changes going from my first prototype to the second one. So now that I have done 2 practice runs, I'm going to show you the mummy bear ears. Check the direction of your fur to make sure that it's pointing down before you cut out your pieces. We're going to need 4 of the ears and we're going to need 1 long piece to use as the headband. I recommend cutting your headband 63 centimeters by 12 centimeters, which would be 25 inches by 4 3/4 inches. I recommend just using small snips and cutting through just the backing, because if you do these big snips, you'll end up cutting through the fur and pretty much inhaling it. If you're interested in printing out the bear ear sizes that I used, I can leave a link to a downloadable document of the sizes that I used. You'll also need 2 smaller semicircles for the inside of the ears and an 18 centimeter piece of elastic. Place 2 of your ear pieces right sides together and sew around the curved edge, leaving the straight edge open. I'm using a straight stitch on my machine and it is a little longer than normal to cope with the thick fabric. As we sew on this internal part of the ear, it's going to create a casing which will hold 2 pipe cleaners. The pipe cleaners will help to make the ear stable so that it can stand up tall. I'm using a zigzag stitch and sewing directly around the outside of the internal part of the ear. I've made my zigzag stitch quite small and I've pushed the pipe cleaners all the way into the seam to make sure that I don't sew over the top of them. Trim them to 2 centimeters or 3/4 inch. The headband has a piece of elastic under the chin, so we're going to start by making the casing for that elastic. The casing needs to be 32 centimeters or 12.5 inches long. Pin it right sides together, ready to sew. Okay. I'm using a straight stitch to sew along the side of this casing, and I am only sewing on the part where the elastic will go and leaving the rest of the headband open. Then I'm ready to turn the headband in the right way again. I used a chopstick to help me push it through, but to be honest, it was quite difficult. My headband I cut 10 centimeters in width, which is why I recommended you do 12 centimeters because it will be easier for you to turn through. Attach a safety pin to your elastic and push it in towards the middle of your casing. Then zigzag stitch the end of your elastic where we have marked the beginning of your casing to start. Push your safety pin the whole way through and sew the other side of your elastic down where you have marked the side of your casing to be. Next, we're going to sew our short ends of our headband together to make it a proper circular headband. I'm just using a straight stitch to sew along that edge. To attach the ears, we're going to use the elastic that we've sewn on to help determine where the top of the headband is. I've separated my ears by 6 centimeters or 2 1/4 inches, so I'm measuring half of that distance from that center point line and pinning the ears in place right side together with the front of the headband. I'm attaching the ears using a zigzag stitch, which I'm sewing right along the edge where the headband and the ears meet. My machine had no problems at all sewing over the pipe cleaners. It was just kind of like when you're sewing over a pin that's in that direction, so I had no issues with it and hopefully you won't either. I then separated each pair of pipe cleaners, pushing them in opposite directions from each other so they would be flat against your head in the headband and help the ear to stick up tall. I'm going to be sewing a top stitch the whole way along this top part of the headband through all the layers so that I'm able to attach this final side onto the headband. I have the ear sticking up in the center of the headband and then I'm pulling the other side up to meet it and flattening out the pipe cleaners so that they are the same width as the headband. In line with where the seam is already from where we sewed the elastic casing, I am continuing in the same lines sewing a zigzag stitch this time, which will catch the left side and the right side of the headband and it will catch the ear at the same time. I've chosen a very wide zigzag stitch in order that all those parts can be caught together. If you were making this and you wanted to sell it, feel free, go ahead, but you might like to hand stitch this so the stitching wasn't so visible. And there you are, your ears are done, ready to be worn. I'm really happy with how this pattern turned out mostly, but the one thing I would change is I actually put the join right here, which isn't ideal really, but at least using this bow for the mummy bear, you can kind of cover the join a bit more. But really, this is what I recommend doing instead, is to off-center where the elastic goes a bit more drastically than I did on this one here. So instead of having my 32 centimeters pretty close to the middle, this 32 centimeters that's going to be the part that scrunches up for the elastic is really heavily skewed to one side, so that this part will get screwed up with the elastic and this 5 centimeters will be just on the edge here, and where these two pieces join together will be right on the edge here where the ear is. So it will be much less noticeable than at the moment when it's kind of right on top. Here's a quick comparison of the sizes of ears that I've made, and now I'm ready to show you the accessories. I'm using one of the bibs we already have at home to draft out a pattern for how big I want our bib to be. I'm making my bib oversized because I think dress-ups look really cute oversized, and also because I'm using it for our gender reveal photo. I wanted it to be really big and predominant. My front and back layers are cut out of flannelette, and my middle layer is some polar fleece, which will help make it a bit thicker. Place your front and back pieces right sides together with your polar fleece at the back and sew a straight stitch around the whole of the outside, leaving about a 5 to 10 centimeter gap so you're able to turn the bib in the right way. Cut notches along the curved edges so when you turn it in the right way, the seams will sit flat without there being bulk around those curved parts. To close over the hole, we're going to top stitch around the entirety of the bib. I've got pink cotton in my bobbin and blue cotton in the top so that they correspond with the colours on the bib. The last thing to do is to attach some hook and loop so that we can close the bib over. I am using a sticky type so that I can attach it to each side and then sew it on once it's already stuck there, so I know it's going to stay in the right place. If you'd like to see a more detailed tutorial about making bibs, I have made a dribble bib video before, which I will link, and you can watch that as well if you need more instructions. To make the mother bear scarf, I'm cutting a long thin rectangle, just a little bit longer than Isabel's height. So I cut my piece 110 centimeters in length, which is 43.5 inches, and a width of 30 centimeters or 12 inches. I folded my scarf in half lengthwise, and I'm sewing down the long edge, leaving a gap in the middle so that I can turn it in the right way later. I wanted to sew some decorative trim on either end of my scarf, so I have cut it to the correct length, and then I'm placing it inside the edge of these smaller sides. The edge of the trim is lined up with the edge of my scarf, so that as I sew my over edge stitch, or you could use a zigzag stitch, it will only sew over the binding part and not over the bobbly part you want to see. Turn your scarf in the right way, using the hole that we left in the middle of the long side. Then I iron my scarf flat so that I can top stitch around it, which will close over the hole, and also the top stitching will keep it from hopefully needing to be ironed again. Now that we've finished our scarf, we're going to make a really simple hair bow. I cut a thin rectangle to be 30 centimeters by 6 centimeters, which is 12 inches by 2 inches, and fold that in half lengthwise so that I can sew it together. I'm starting at the corner and sewing at a diagonal angle at the beginning to give a point to my bows, and I have left a gap in the middle of the bow as well so that I'm able to turn it in the right way. We're going to be folding the bow over on itself like this, screwing up the middle, and then wrapping the center with a spare piece of our fabric. I thread a hand sewing needle so that once I wrap the spare piece of fabric around the center of my bow, I'm able to use my hand sewing needle to sew the back of it together. I'm using a back stitch. If you don't know how to sew a back stitch, you can watch my hand sewing video. I chop off the excess fabric on the tail there of the back of the bow, and then I attach an alligator clip to the back and hand sew that on too so that it's secure. I love these for standard hair accessories, not just dress ups. To make this bow tie, I've got some cotton poplin and I've lined it with some interfacing to make it a bit more stiff. You'll need 2 rectangles as the bow pieces and 1 longer, thinner rectangle to use as the neckband. Sew each of your rectangles together lengthwise. I actually used the Wallace House blog's easiest bow tie tutorial ever, so the instructions are all written down there, and I'll leave a link so that you can check them out. The only differences that I made from what she did was that I did line it with interfacing, which became a problem here because I wasn't able to turn through the neckband piece, it was too thick. So I ended up unpicking it and then having to top stitch the neckband down instead. The only other difference was that I chose to make my bow tie oversized, again because I like my dress ups to be exaggerated and oversized. So I used the dimensions that she had on her website and I increased them by 2 times the size that she had. So once I fixed the problem with the neckband and top stitched it together, I had the completed neckband piece and I had the 2 bow pieces. The bow pieces are essentially a rectangular tube where the seam part is on the center back instead of on one of the side edges. At each stage, I was making sure to iron my pieces flat.
What is that? What is that? What is that? Looks like blood. Do I have blood? No. Why is there blood? Cool. Okay, that's the back.
Take your bow rectangle and fold it in half to find the center, and then fold the edges in to that center point. Then you're going to run a zigzag stitch down the middle of your bow on both of your rectangle pieces. Place your bows on top of each other and run another zigzag stitch down the center to attach them together. As you pinch the center of your bow together, you'll be able to see it taking shape. I hand sewed a small piece of the spare fabric onto the center of the necktie so that I was able to then wrap that around the middle of my bow tie. Remember to have the smaller of the 2 bows on the front so that you can see it better. Hand sew your bow tie together and chop off the excess. And then the only thing left to do is to sew the hook and loop on just the same as we did when we were sewing the bib. I placed the hook and loop so that the scratchy side is not in the direction where it's going to be against the kid's neck. And then I sew around each side of the hook and loop to attach it in place. Now let's watch a few bloopers to see how the costumes look all together.
But not yet. That's out of the shot.
Yeah, I don't know. You have...
A boy baby or a girl baby?
A girl. Baby.
You finished? You can go play at 3 Bears now if you want to.
Go down lower so you're there level. Yeah.
So there you have it.
I hope you enjoyed this tutorial where I've made the daddy bear, mummy bear and baby bear dress up costumes. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to press like down below to let me know that I should make more content like this. If you haven't yet checked out my tutorial about how I made this Goldilocks wig, I made that video last week, so I'll leave that linked in the description box down below and linked at the end of this video as well. If you have a go at making these 3 bears or Goldilocks costume, I'd love to see a photo. Please tag me on Instagram at mymum.marie. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to be sharing more sewing tutorials for pregnancy and newborns, and I'm also going to be sharing some advice videos about the things that I recommend you do sew for a baby and the things that I just wouldn't bother sewing. If you don't want to miss out on any of those upcoming videos, then press subscribe so that YouTube knows to send them your way. Thanks again for joining me as I made these dress ups and announced the gender of our sweet little boy coming in February. I hope to see you in one of my other videos again sometime soon. Until next time, go get creative and we'll see you later.